Hello friends, welcome to my channel of Medical Matters. Today I want to speak to you on a very important aspect, that is the National Medical Commission's regulation latest published to 2023. Market is abuzz, the doctors are abuzz with it, and everybody is worried whether some actions are needed to be taken immediately or something can be postponed. The pharma companies may be worried, or there are so many things. So let's, without wasting time, let's start what we can think about it and what we know about it. Number one, it has been published on 2nd August 23, so it's now enforced, and it deals with the 5 chapters and there are 11 guidelines. The guidelines are in detail. One has to refer that whenever you need that. And number one deals with the professional conduct of RMPs, that is more important. Number two is duties of RMPs towards their patients. 3 deals with the responsibility of RMP to each other. Chapter 4 deals with the duties towards public and allied healthcare professional. And chapter 5 deals with the professional misconduct and how to deal with that and what are the mechanisms available for remedial. So without ado, let's go through that. Chapter 1 lists down the duties and responsibility. Now they say that RMP will have to display a unique registration ID assigned to him, and this unique registration ID has to be obtained by everybody who is at present in practice. Whatever number of degrees we hold, we need to obtain this by updating our information in their portal. Within 3 months of publishing of this guideline, we must have this. That will be only valid later on. We can only write only NMC recognized degrees and accredited degrees or diploma, which can be displayed as a suffix to our name. RMP cannot claim to be a clinical specialist in any field unless he has a recognized degree and training by NMC. Just by working in that field, you cannot claim yourself to be a specialist. You can practice the system of medicine in which you are trained. You cannot be trained in Unani and you start doing Ayurvedic, or you cannot be trained in Ayurveda and start practicing modern medicine. So in whichever system you are trained, you can only practice that. So it prohibits in practicing into other medicine. You will not employ any healthcare worker or professional who is not trained in that field and he is working under you. Like, you cannot employ untrained nurse or untrained technician or untrained this thing. If you employ so, you will remain squarely responsible for his or her conduct. Responsibility will lie on you. Now there is a very important aspect has been added: continuing professional development program. Every doctor has to keep himself updated with the continuously changing knowledge. That's a fact. But a formal system has been instituted for that. Every year you have to attend some CME, seminars, etc., for which the credit hours will be allotted, and 30 credit hours you will have to accumulate in next 5 years. And after that 5 years, when you go for registration renewal, you will be these 30 points will be required for you to show, and you are also supposed to update your credit hours regularly in your name against your registration number. Now charges, consultation fee or remuneration, you are authorized to collect that. The patient should know before examination what will be the charges to him. A reasonable estimate for the cost of surgery or admission must also be given to him so that he can take an informed decision. It should not come as a surprise to him. Similarly, consultation fee should also be known to the patient before he enters in your chamber. You are prohibited from soliciting patients. That means you will not employ touts or jula chap, etc., to collect patients from outside. or from other institutions, from other doctors or from other organization, that is there, but whatever goes on needs to be checked. Now, another point which is very much in abuzz now, every day it is coming in news, that prescribing generic medicine. Now, they have emphasized that every RMP will prescribe only generic medicine by name, legibly, and prescribe drug rationally. Unnecessary combinations, unnecessary medications will be avoided, and irrational fixed dose combination will also be avoided. This generic medicine rule is there since 2002. Up till now it was largely ignored, I will say, implemented less. But now they have included a detailed guidelines in that, so people feel that it might be enforced now. The only issue is that 70% of the people in India are not able to read the English name of medicine. So if they are written a generic name, what use they will make of it? It will come handy in the hands of pharmacist, who will sell them whatever he feels like, wherever he has maximum margin, and substandard medicine will be issued. Generic medicine costing is also not regulated. A tablet MRP is written 60 rupees, and the tablet pharmacist will himself sell you for 15 rupees. That is the level of margin in generic medicine, even though it is cheaper than branded, but still that is the margin. So it will be for most of the people it will be substandard medicines at a very high cost, maybe lesser than branded, but medicine will not be good. So why subject so many people to a substandard medicine is not a good idea. Generic medicines control is also very less. They do not have that standard of maintenance of quality or bioequivalence as the other medicines have. Then you are prohibited from your cut commission or splitting or commission, etc. You are not allowed to participate in any of this division, transfer, assignment, etc. of funds, etc. to any referral, any branding, anything. That is strictly prohibited. Section 10 deals with the prohibition of endorsement of a product or person. You, as a doctor in India, as a RMP in India, you cannot endorse a medicine, you cannot endorse an association, society, or even person or a product. You will not give any preference to any company or any product or software. This was earlier also applicable, it's here also. You will not also issue any certificate of proficiency in modern medicine to any unqualified person who is working with you. However, this does not prohibit you from giving certificates to bona fide students in a bona fide courses. But on your own, you will not be able to give. Now, advertisements in general for promotion of your clinic is not allowed. However, RMP is permitted to make formal announcement in any media, print, electronic, etc. within 3 months of following areas. Number 1 is on start of a new practice. Number 2 is change of type of practice, change of address, any of your temporary absence from the clinic, on rejoining your clinics, on resumption of your duty, or if you are succeeding your practice to another thing, you have opened a big hospital, now for some reason you want to hand over to somebody else to run it in a different way, that announcement must be done, and public declaration of charges must also be done. So this much is allowed, but this is not soliciting patient. Now you are allowed to do public education. In fact, it is your duty to do public education, but public education should not be directed towards the advertisement or bringing patient to you. Now, responsibility regarding the sale of drugs. You are not allowed to open a medical store on your own for selling medicine to everybody, but you can open a store in which you can dispense medicine or dispense surgical item or whatever you are prescribing to your own patients. It is allowed. The only thing is, it should not be exploitative to patient. It should not be that you have very high rate of medicines in your clinic, whereas the same is available at cheaper rate outside. So it should not result into exploitation. And it is very clear that you cannot open a drug store to sell outside the medicine. Now, your responsibility towards the medical record. What record you must maintain, how long you can maintain, that they have specified. RMP will maintain record of his inpatients for 3 years from the last contact with that patient, and on request by another hospital or by the patient, you are supposed to provide summary of your medical treatment. Summary of medical treatment, a format of that has been given in the guideline. You can refer what headings are required to be given. It must be given in 5 days. Earlier it was only 72 hours. Now they have made it in 5 days. 5 days. In emergency, earlier effort must be done. If there is emergency, you must make effort to give it early. Now, from the publication of date of this gazette, within 3 years, you should be able to digitize your records so that you can quickly retrieve and provide detailed information with security to anybody who is requesting, anybody who has a authority to request you for this kind of data, considering the IT regulations of your country in mind. You will also keep a record of all. You will also keep a record of your certificates which you have given, certificates or documents or anything which you have given. You must keep the record of that, what you have given. OPD, regarding OPD patients, this regulation is silent. Now, you cannot practice active euthanasia. It will be considered as unethical act. Even in case of brain death, etc., and withdrawing life support, you have to obey the Transplantation of Human Organ Act and follow the law which is prevalent in your country. Now comes the informed consent. Informed consent is a must. We all know that. By the legal guardian or the family of the patient himself is in full state of mind, he must be informed about the risk, etc., so that he can give you informed consent. Witnesses should be there, recording should be there, and for each specific diagnostic it must be taken. You cannot assume a blanket consent once the patient is admitted. It cannot be defended morally or legally. Now, what are your duties towards the patients? Whenever you have given an appointment, keep it that consulting hours, be there in your consulting hours. Because of any incapacity, physical or mental, if you are unable to discharge your duty, please remove yourself from practice. Confidentiality you have to maintain. You have to be very truth-telling. You cannot exaggerate your things. And one special mention has been given in this regulation is that abusive, unruling and violent patient or relatives, you can refuse treatment, endorse that fact in the record and refer him to take treatment anywhere else. You are not forced to continue treatment in spite of this very behavior. Your signature should have your unique ID number. Referral, etc. must be justified, whether to the specialist, whether to the lab techs, it must be justified. Telemedicine के लिए there is a separate guideline exists. Now chapter 4 deals with the duties of RMP towards the public and allied health professional. You are required to disseminate scientific information. It is your duty. Regarding the, you must obey the notification rules which are prevalent in your area. Quarantine measures, and what is quarantine, what are the precautions required, what prevention you can take from epidemics. You are all supposed to do that. It's your duty. But do not use this as an advertisement to your clinic, and you should not you should definitely get involved in public education and awareness. So that is part of your duty. Now chapter 5 deals especially with the professional misconduct. Professional misconduct, any aggrieved party can file a complaint to State Medical Council within 2 years of such an incident. They can make it online, they can make it offline. If offline, 5 copies they have to submit. It can be filed only by family members, relative, friend, guardian, or any authority under whose care, legal heir or legal guardian, in death, legal heir. And NMC, etc., EMRB can also take suo motu case against you. It is not necessary that somebody has to file. If the gross misconduct comes into the notice of them, they can take action. However, the parties are not allowed to bring any lawyer to represent their case in this case of hearing. It is not allowed. It is specifically mentioned here. Now, disposal of complaint, State Medical Council will give parties opportunity to be heard. Within 15 days, they will give back that copy to the people who have submitted, and then another 15 days they will call the parties to explanation. They can dismiss the complaint, they can censor or warn, they can recommend counseling, they can have alternative penalty considered. You can appeal within 60 days to NMC, etc., if you are not happy with this regulations. So now the guidelines which are there, in that guideline there is a prescription guideline, there is a prescription format is there. There is a format for giving certificates also. There is a detailed format for continuous professional development program. Telemedicine के लिए there is a special guideline, and for everything the 11 guidelines are there, and they are very much in detail. You must go through them, and they are extensive guidelines. You must see that and proceed as per that. And thank you for watching, and any further queries you are welcome to comment in the comment section. And this regulation gives you at least 2 advantages. You can refuse treatment if you are not paid remuneration. You can refuse treatment to the unruly patient, and other thing is lawyers are not allowed in hearing. But one important immediate action needs to be taken is that obtain a unique registration ID. Thank you very much.